welcome to the Revolutionary CEO podcast. I'm your host, Letitia Lynch, wine lover, brand snob, proud boy mom, and Atlanta-based entrepreneur. When I was laid off from my dream marketing job at 8 weeks pregnant, I knew I couldn't rely on corporations to provide me with a stable income. I launched my own business and hit six figures in my first full year. I want to help other female service-based entrepreneurs and coaches build and leverage their brand authority so they can confidently sell their services and programs at a premium price point to create a lasting legacy and generate independent wealth. Tune in every Wednesday for solo episodes and conversations with amazing self-made, multi-six and seven-figure women all about marketing, sales, mindset, self-care, entrepreneurship, and motherhood to inspire you and give you actionable steps to successfully market and sell your high-ticket services and programs while having a life. Let's get into it.
One of my most controversial pieces of topics that get a lot of response is when I talk about why educational content really makes you seem more like Google or Pinterest to people rather than the in-demand expert, and what you need to be really talking about instead with your content to attract high ticket and premium clients. I love talking about this. So I want to dive right into this conversation. I feel like when people market nowadays and try to market their offers on Instagram and social media, they spend a lot of time sharing like the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of how to do things. Like I feel like people see that they get a lot of engagement on those like mini trainings that they're doing and how-tos and checklists of what people need to do to get like those quick wins and alleviate pain points. But I think people are forgetting that if you're selling high ticket or premium offers, those things are not meant to solve pain points. You're actually selling those offers at those premium and high ticket prices because you're meant to be solving problems. You're meant to be getting big transformations. And when you fail to remember that, that is when you start to kind of fall back on what I feel like is the easier content. So let me kind of talk about like the gaps in your thought process when it comes to your content strategy for selling and again, marketing your high ticket or premium offers. When you're constantly giving that educational content, you do come off as like Google or Pinterest to people. And I don't know about you, but I have never paid Google for their information. I end up clicking on one of the many websites that they've referred me to, and then I find an expert there and I pay them. Same thing with Pinterest. I may be cruising around and playing around on Pinterest. I'm probably doing my research within Pinterest. But at the end of the day, I'm going to click and go somewhere else, and I'm going to find an expert that's actually giving me the information that I need, and I'm going to spend money with that person. You don't want to end up being the person that everyone goes to for quick information. At the beginning of the buyer's journey, when you're kind of at the top of your marketing funnel and trying to get as much attention as possible, or maybe you're in the process of trying to like grow your followers, yes, educational content is going to give you the attention that you want. That's why reels are super duper important. People are spending a lot of time on reels, creating that great educational, fun, quick, digestible content. But when it comes to someone spending high ticket dollars, like $1,500 plus, or premium dollars on your offer, like $3,000 or more, they're not coming to you to solve these little pain points because pain points tend to come back. When you're only focusing your content on solving pain points, my fear for you is that that person's going to go and try the thing that you taught them, right? And it's going to be like, here are 3 tips for growing your Instagram followers. And in that person's mind, the reason that they're not able to sell their offer is because they don't have enough Instagram followers. But at the end of the day, you know it's not the fact that they don't have enough Instagram followers that's hurting their sales. It's the fact that the followers that they are attracting aren't actually their ideal clients, right? So if you help them grow their followers and at the end of the month or the next 2 months, they still don't get any clients, they're going to be like, well, this didn't work. And at the end of the day, that meant you didn't actually solve their problem. Now they're going to go to the next expert who's going to say, you don't need, like me, I'm going to say, you don't actually need to have a high following to sell your high ticket services. You need to do better content. And they're going to be like, well, that's the thing that I needed. And they're going to come to me. They're going to come to that expert that's telling them that information. So when you, again, are thinking, I'm doing a great job by solving this quick little pain point, you're just becoming like a dictionary or an encyclopedia for people, but you're really not the person that's going to solve the problem for them. You're just someplace where they can gather information. And that is great, depending on what it is that you sell, right? I want you to not be the place that people are coming for free to do free research. There is a way to educate people without you just being like again, an encyclopedia, a dictionary, but more so in a way where you're helping them to see things differently. So let's talk about where you are right now in your content strategy when you're coming up with your content. I think that right now you need to think about, first of all, there's a buyer's journey that has to be followed when you are creating your content. And that buyer's journey starts from like a point A of where your ideal client is unhappy. They're experiencing multiple pain points. That is point A. At that stage, they are very unaware of their problem, but they are very, very, in fact, hyper aware of all of the pain points that they have. And at this stage, they are researching to see how to eliminate those pain points. But the reason they're researching how to get rid of those pain points is, first of all, that's all they're aware of. That's all they know, and they just want to get by. So a great example that I like to give for people at this stage is, if I have a headache right now, all I know is that dull pain in my head. And because that pain is persistent, I'm unable to concentrate and do my work. And I have a deadline. It's 4:00 and I still have to power through all of this work on my computer, but my eyes are hurting and this headache is making it hard for me to see clearly. And what I would like to be doing is laying down, but I know I can't because I have a work deadline, right? So I want something to make that headache go away. That's where your ideal clients are right now. So what you're doing by coming up with educational content is you're just giving them Tylenol. You're giving them general Tylenol that's going to make their headache go away. And that's fine. Yep, they power through that work and they get to it and they're like, thank goodness that Tylenol helped. But now the next stage in the buyer's journey is where they need to see those pain points differently and understand how they actually relate to the bigger problem. So the next day I'm doing work again, and now it's not 4. I didn't even make it to 4:00 today. I actually only made it to 1:00 before that headache came back. And now I really can't concentrate. I have a meeting and I'm running this meeting in front of the C-suite executives of the company. I cannot play around with this doggone headache, but why is it back? If I took headache medicine yesterday, I got sleep, I've been drinking water, like what's wrong with me? I need you as the expert in your content to tell me, actually, you didn't just have a headache. What you actually had was a migraine. But if all you're doing is focusing your content on giving them headache medicine, every time they say they have a headache, you're just giving them more headache medicine without actually diagnosing the problem, then all you're doing is putting a Band-Aid on something that's not really going to help them in the long run. And if I keep getting that headache every single day, now I don't want to talk to you because you're giving me something that's not actually helping me. And now I'm seeing a pattern. I'm seeing a pattern of you giving me something that maybe helps me get by for a little bit, but then that thing resurfaces. You don't want to be the person that gives them the thing that just puts a Band-Aid on an issue and then it keeps resurfacing because they're no longer going to trust you and they're going to move on to the next expert giving them better information. So once you tell them, oh no, you actually have a migraine, it's not a headache, in the buyer's journey, the next stage is, okay, they're now ready to and open to listening to what can solve the problem because now they have a word for the problem. I don't have a headache. I'm going to stop saying I have a headache as the customer. I'm now going to say I have a migraine. And now my research can be more targeted towards what can help me eliminate a migraine. How do I get rid of a migraine? So when you're doing content at this stage in the buyer's journey, now you can start to have them see, okay, now that you know your problem, this is the solution to solve that problem. So if we're using the headache example, what you're going to say now is the thing that helps eliminate a migraine, there are 2 options. You can take, 1,600 milligrams of acetaminophen, or you can have something that has 500 milligrams of caffeine in it. And now that person has options of things that they can start to obsess over and do research on. What kinds of medicines have 1,500 milligrams of acetaminophen? What things have caffeine in it? They can start making some decisions about what's going to work best for them. Well, I can't really have caffeine. It makes my heart beat too fast. I have a heart condition. That's not going to be my thing. So I have to find medicine that has 1,500 milligrams of acetaminophen because that's going to make this migraine go away. So now that's where they are. They're now, okay, I know I need medicine that has 1,500 milligrams of acetaminophen because that is the type of solution that's going to work for them. And now The next stage in the buyer's journey is where you tell them your unique spin on the solution. So now as the client who has the migraine and they're looking for something with 1,500 milligrams of acetaminophen, you're going to then in your content say, I actually have Tylenol for migraines. And what this medicine does is it eliminates your migraine within 5 minutes. And this medicine lasts for over 24 hours. This cuts down the number of migraines you're going to have in a month from maybe, once a day to maybe once a month. So now I'm going to say, oh my gosh, 99% of my migraines will be eliminated. I can deal with one a month rather than having one every single day. So I am going to choose that medicine or your solution because you're presenting the best option for me based on what I know to be true, which is I have a migraine, 1,500 milligrams of acetaminophen will work. There's migraine medicine that has not only 15 milligrams of acetaminophen, but also it's going to work within 5 minutes and I'm good for at least 24 hours, but I am basically guaranteed to have eliminated basically every time I'm going to get this migraine except maybe once. That is an improvement of my life. And I would rather go with this solution than any of the other solutions that say this kicks in 8 hours. It only lasts for 12 hours. You have to take it every single day. Like all of those options seem like more work than it is to take the option that you've given me. And that's how you need to be taking your ideal clients on a buyer's journey. I hope that didn't bore you with me telling you this long story about medicine, but I try to give examples that you can relate to because I feel like, again, when you are doing your marketing content, instead of you telling these types of stories that I just told you to help drive a point home, what you're doing is just saying, I don't even care what your problem is. I can tell you a solution. No, let me just tell you some stuff. You told me you know how to articulate this one thing, and I'm going to just focus on that one thing. Your job isn't to focus on the thing that they can articulate. It's your job as the expert to help them articulate things that they don't even know is there. It's your job to help them to see their pain points differently and how it points back to a real problem. And then it's your job to tell them you want to actually solve this problem. Not worry about these little pain points because as a result of you solving the problem, those pain points are also eliminated. You need to sell them on solving the big problem. One thing I want to say to you that I tell all my clients is that people pay low ticket to solve pain points. And they pay high ticket, they invest in high ticket to solve and eliminate major problems. They're expecting a bigger transformation when they're paying you high ticket. So if you're focusing your energy on highlighting just the little things that you're solving, they're thinking that should be free, which is why they come to you for your free content. And if that's all you're giving them and then diving into, buy my offer, if you went from, hey, here's some Tylenol for your headache, right after I just mentioned I had a quick headache and you didn't ask me any other symptoms and that's all you talked about with me, I'm going to be frustrated and tell you, well, that's not helpful. Or if you started the opposite, if you said, if I said I have a headache and you start offering me migraine medicine, well, I don't even believe that I have a migraine. I told you I have a headache. A lot of times I see you putting out your content, like the very first time someone will hear about something on your feed will be, today's the day I'm launching my new offer. And it's like, wait, what? Because I don't even know if I need this offer. And then when you hear crickets, even though you did some research and people wanted that offer, when you just throw that offer out there and you haven't done any research and you haven't led them on a buyer's journey, what you're doing is just throwing out a solution to something that people don't even know that they need. If you're telling me here's some migraine medicine and I think I just have a headache, well, then I'm going to ignore your content because I don't think I have a migraine. I think I just have a headache. But when you start to focus your content on saying, well, if your symptoms range from you having, sensitivity to light and you feel nauseous when you open your eyes and, a headache is on a scale of 1 to 10 or 20 and you start to describe those things, I'm going to say, oh, you know what? Maybe that is it. And if your equilibrium is off and all these things, if you start to name the things that they can recognize and then put a diagnosis to those things, people are more apt to listen to you because they can now connect the dots and it's starting to tell a story that they can relate to. It's starting to paint a picture of their reality. I need you to start learning to paint a picture of your ideal client's reality and help them see that reality different. You need to help them understand how they got to that current reality by starting at the very beginning and help them see, okay, this is how you got here. This is probably what you're experiencing. This is why you're experiencing that. Then you want to lead them to, and here's the actual problem that's causing all those little things that you're experiencing. You need to then take them on a path of believing in the solution and why that solution is right for them. Why is it the best solution? You need to know all the things that they've tried before. You need to know all of the things that have not worked for them and why those things haven't worked. You need to be able to point out the gaps in their thought processes and what they've been doing, the actions that they've taken, because once you can help point those things out for them and then paint a picture of their brighter future, if they go with the better solution, then they're going to be more open to hearing that solution. If you paint a brighter future for me, again, back to my example, you will never get another migraine again for a year. And all I can think is how I've had this damn migraine every single day for a month straight, and I don't see an end in sight. My emotional response is going to be such relief. The relief that I can actually cut the lights on in my house, that I can open my eyes without feeling nauseous, that one side of my face won't feel like it's numb because the pain is so severe, that I won't be stuck in my bed all day and missing time with my kids because I can't even have them making sounds. I have to wear noise canceling headphones all day. Like, it's depressing. You need to paint a picture of where they currently are now and relate it back to their current environment. And a lot of you aren't doing research into environment. I want you to go back and listen to my episode where I talk all about knowing your ideal clients. And this is because you really need to know them inside and out to be able to come up with this content and tell this story. So the point of what I wanted to say today is I don't want you to focus your energy on so much of that educational content. In fact, I want you to focus your energy on perspective shifting, myth busting, transformational content. And that should be 60% of the content that you're putting out there. 60%. Because if you can do that, if you can shift perspectives at that rate, then what that's going to do is position you as an expert. It's going to position you as a thought leader. And by thought leader, I mean, you're not saying what everyone else is saying to them. You're not saying stuff that they can just look up on Google or just go anywhere and find. You're helping them to see stuff that no one else has helped them see before. And that makes you irreplaceable. It makes you invaluable to them. When you become invaluable with the kind of content that you're putting out as an expert in your industry, you then become like the go-to person for everyone, because now that person's going to share what you posted, right? They're going to share what you've been saying with others because they can't believe someone has finally articulated it in such a way that they actually get it. And I can guarantee that they have peers that they've been having these conversations of frustration with. And now they're going to share it with those peers like, oh my gosh, this is what we've been waiting to hear. This is what's the problem. This is why I've been struggling. This is why we're struggling. And that's what you want. You want them to be able to go and share it with somebody else like, oh my gosh, finally. 60% of your content needs to be shifting people's perspectives. 30% of your content should be educational content, though. I don't want you to think that the point of me saying this is to just get rid of all of the educational content. There should be some ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, because a lot of times when you tell people a good concept and now you help them see this solution, well, you want to kind of help them understand how that solution works. You want to help them to see how this solution can possibly fit into their lives. And you want to make your content easy for them to digest. And educational content is actually really easy to digest. It's the thing that you're doing, here are my 3 top tips for, eliminating X, Y, and Z pain point. You're going to say, these are the first 4 steps to completing this problem. You want to present them with information like that, because when you can get a quick win from someone, it does make you pay a little bit more attention to them. So I'm not saying that I don't want you to get attention. I'm not saying that I don't want you to help your ideal clients to get quick wins, because that's a nice thing. If you can help me get by with my headache by giving me Tylenol really quickly, and then you work with me for a few weeks through your content to help me actually see that it's a migraine and how I can get rid of that migraine, I'm still going to listen to you the first few times, because you have helped me eliminate it real quick. You did help me get that promotion because I had that meeting that went over really well in front of the C-suite executives. But you can't keep helping me just get by, because there's going to be another meeting at some other later date with another group of executives. If every day my problem keeps persisting and coming back, I can no longer come to you. But if you flip that script and you do pop up with some educational content, but then you come back and you hit them heavy and hard with the perspective shifting, myth busting, transformational type content that I want you to focus 60% of the time on, that is how you stick. That is how you don't become Google or Pinterest, but you really become not only the go-to, but the person who makes them feel better really quickly, and the person who has transformed how they thought so much that they can finally be open and ready to invest in a powerful solution. If you have been posting content consistently, or at least kind of, and you're still not consistently attracting high ticket clients, then I really want you to consider joining Revolutionary Brand. It's my signature brand visibility and authority building coaching program where I teach you how to leverage simple video content to attract your ideal high ticket clients and premium clients needed to consistently hit your high 4 and 5 figure months. I created this program specifically because I know that it's really difficult to figure out how to position your offer so that people see the value in it, and how to articulate it in a way that they will actually connect with on a deeper level. I understand that there are so many different ways that you can market yourself, but if you could just find one that was easy to maintain as a solo entrepreneur, if you could just find the one way that you can repeat and do every single time, and you could start to build consistency in your income, then you can see the hope in your business that it will grow. And so I wanted to create a program that is kind of around what I learned over time, not just being, a marketing veteran for 15 years, but also just working with clients and seeing the struggles that people have with coming up with content. When you don't have a marketing background, it's very difficult to know what to do. Marketing people's expertise really comes in them telling really good stories. And a lot of people aren't great at storytelling. A lot of people are trying to just be salespeople. They're trying to be marketing. You're the administrative assistant. You're doing the back end. You're accounting. You're customer service. It's really hard to be excellent at all of those things. So it's okay to not be excellent at coming up with marketing content. But you do want to find some way to learn how to come up with the right kind of content so that you are positioned as a brand authority and not just Google or Pinterest.
If you love this episode as much as I have, then subscribe to the Revolutionary CEO podcast on iTunes and leave me a review to let me know what you enjoyed the most. For premium pricing and branding tips and training, connect with me on Instagram. I'm at Atelier Letitia. That's ATELIERLATESHA. And be sure to follow the podcast Instagram account at Revolutionary CEO to show my guests and me some love. Talk to you next week.